Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Assorted Immigrant Stories podcast. I just have one quick update for you because I know that some of you listen only for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, maybe if I'm lucky. But as Azaria Z now says, this is for those of you in the back, back bencher. All right, so back on June 13th, I did share 4 updates, and I'm just here to revisit one of those updates because it's officially in effect. As of August 1st, as in almost a week ago, the U.S. Department of State has officially implemented the regional visa hub realignment in several African countries. And I know there have been a lot of questions. Well, is the embassy still open? What happens if I still have a valid visa? So the realignment is for routine visas, which means there are exceptions, right? Which means for those on the A and G visa, diplomatic or government travel, life-threatening situations, even though it will be case by case, those will be processed locally. However, everything else that falls under routine is where you'd have to go to the new realigned location. For those with a valid visa, you're good, you're not affected right now up until you have to renew that visa. So what falls under routine? So we already know there's immigrant and non-immigrant visa. So under non-immigrant visa, we have the student visa, work visa such as the H-1B, you have the work exchange visa, tourist visa, student visa, all those fall under routine. And then for the immigrant visa, we have the diversity visa, which I've talked about quite a bit. I've done several episodes on that. Fiancé visa, adoption cases, asylee cases, family reference cases, all those fall under immigrant visa. Oh, and the EB3 visa, which is a work visa. This is what registered nurses use. They don't use the H-1B visa. They use the EB3 visa because it's a pathway to residency and citizenship. But all these are considered routine. So for all these, you would have to go to the designated location. So for example, if you're from Zambia, you'd have to go to Johannesburg. And with that, I'm going to read out the countries that have been affected and where you would have to go. So for Zambia, Madagascar, Botswana, Mozambique, Lesotho, Eswatini, Durban, South Africa, you'd have to go to Johannesburg in South Africa. For Namibia and Zimbabwe, you can either go to Cape Town or Johannesburg in South Africa. For Mali, the Gambia, Guinea, Mauritania, you'd have to go to Dakar, Senegal. For Eritrea, Burundi, and South Sudan, you'd have to go to Kampala in Uganda. For Gabon and Chad, you'd have to go to Yaoundé in Cameroon. For Benin, Niger, and Burkina Faso, you'd have to go to Lomé in Togo. And for Republic of the Congo, you'd have to go to Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo. Those are 2 different countries. And for Sierra Leone, you'd have to go to Monrovia in Liberia. For Malawi, you'd have to go to Nairobi, Kenya. And for those in Nigeria, they had 2 locations already. Abuja has been, everybody would have to go to Lagos. So, and as always, I always encourage everybody, always look at the official government website. That's where they have the latest updates. And let me tell you, these updates can change very quickly. 1 year, one way, 6 months later, a different way. So very important that you check before you spend so much money just only for you to end up not traveling. If this has been very helpful to you, share with a friend, family, sister, brother, or somebody. All right. I would really appreciate it. And until the next time, do take care. Bye-bye.